No, with the passing of Ken Dryden, the big talk as well, not only of his great life off the ice, but on the ice as well, but how he got to the NHL through a very interesting path of coincidences and a very key trade where Montreal's arch rivals traded him to the Montreal Canadiens after they drafted him. So today we're going to be talking about the early years of Ken Dryden. Now, born Kenneth Wayne Dryden in Hamilton, passed away at age 78 on September 5th, 2025. Now, he was a goalie, politician, lawyer, businessman, author, humanitarian, and role model. An officer of the Order of Canada, he was a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. He was a Liberal Member of Parliament from 2004 to 2011, a Minister of Social Development from 2004 to 2006. He played for the Habs from 71 to 79, winning the Stanley Cup 6 times, and with the Vezina as well 5 times. Now, in 2016-17, the league counted him in history's 100 greatest NHL players. He received the Order of Hockey in Canada in 2020. Now, he was born in Hamilton to parents Murray and Margaret. He has a sister Judy and a brother Dave, who was an NHL goaltender for numerous squads as well as the WHA. Raised in Islington, Ontario, then a suburb of Toronto, he played with the Etobicoke Indians of the Metro Junior B Hockey League, as well as the Humber Valley Packers of the Metro Toronto Hockey League, before being drafted. He was selected 14 overall in the third round by the Bruins in the 64 NHL Amateur Draft. Days later, on June 28, in a trade that at the time didn't seem big, the 6'4", 205-pound backstop was traded along with Alex Campbell to the Habs for Paul Reed and Guy Allen. Dryden was told by his agent that he had been drafted by the Canadiens and did not find out until the mid-70s that he had originally been drafted by the Bruins. Rather than play for the Habs in 64, he pursued a BA degree in history at Cornell, where he also played hockey until his graduation in 69. He backstopped the Cornell Big Red to the 67 NCAA title and to 3 consecutive ECAC tournament championships and won 76 games of his 81 varsity starts. At Cornell, he was a member of the Quill and Dagger Society. He was also a member of the Canadian Amateur National Team at the 69 World Ice Hockey Championships tournament in Stockholm with co-star Wayne Stevenson. Now, Dryden, who wore number 1 with Cornell, had his number retired on February 25th, 2010. Along with Joe Newing-Dyke, he is only one of 2 players who have their numbers retired for Cornell's hockey program. Now, he debuted against the Penguins on March 14, 1974, where he defeated the Pens 5-1 by stopping 35 of 36 shots. Now, Dryden, again, was an author after he retired, but also took time to write one book to his hockey career, Face Off to the Summit. It was a diary about Team Canada in the Canada versus Soviet Union series of 72. The book, although highly regarded, has been out of print for many years. And some of that process can be seen in the Summit series, miniseries that was filmed in Frankton at the Aiken Center many years ago. Now, awards and honors in the minors before he came to the NHL. Get this. All ECAC first team, 67, 68, 69. AHCA East All-American, 67, 68, 69. ECAC Hockey All-Tournament first team, 67, 68, 69. NCAA All-Tournament first team, 67. NCAA All-Tournament second team, 68 and 69. Now, numerous honorary degrees during his career, including at the University of BC, York University, University of Windsor, University of Ottawa, Ryerson, McGill, and University of Winnipeg. Now, there are no stats for his early years with the Humber Valley Packers and the Etobicoke Indians, but eventually, ladies and gentlemen, he found his way to Cornell. Now, the idea about Dryden, ladies and gentlemen, Cornell really made him. This is amazing numbers. Probably the 3 best seasons by a goalie ever in NCAA. 67, he went undefeated in the regular season. 26-0-1 with only 40 goals against, 4 shutouts with a 146 goals against average. So you do the rough numbers, he was only giving up 1 or 2 goals per game. 68, 25-2 in 29 contests, 41 goals against, 6 shutouts, 152 average, 93.8 save percentage. 69 with Cornell, 25-2, with 47 goals against, 3 shutouts. So he's college career 13 shutouts and a 179 average. Now he did play with the Montreal Voyageurs for some of the 71 season, 16-7-8, 84 goals against, 3 shutouts. Now with the Habs that first year, undefeated in 6 starts, 165 average with no shutouts, but in the playoffs went 12-8. So I mean, I want to tell this as simply as possible. He only lost 11 games before he made the Habs. Okay, so he lost 8 in the postseason. So he lost more games in the postseason than he did his whole Cornell career. Now, what stood out for Dryden, especially those early years, was his calmness in the nets. He was the type of person who would relax on his pads, the famous on his pads move. Now, that the NHL awards and honors are completely bizarre. Now, he was a Montreal Canadian retired player, number 29, was retired in 2007. He was the 12th former Canadiens player to be so honored. So you're saying to yourself, why did it take so long to do that? That took about literally 28 years. You still don't know. Now, he also set a Cornell records for best career save percentage, 939, lowest career goals against average, 159, most career shutouts, 13, most career wins, 76, best save percentage of one season, 945, lowest goal is against average of one season, 146 and 67, and most shutouts in one season, 6 in 1967-68. Now, at one point, they call him the Ryan O'Neal of the NHL because, as you know, Ryan O'Neal plays a hockey player in a love story. But ironically, ladies and gentlemen, there was some talk he was going to be offered a big contract by the LA Sharks. That was a WHA team that eventually didn't skate. He was drafted by them in the first ever WHA NHL Draft in February 72. Now, he left Team Canada after he quit all events, including the Olympics, to protest IIHF eligibility rules. Now, he did sign a 3-year, $10,000 contract, played for the Canadian national team in July of 1969, but unfortunately, it didn't work out because they weren't allowing NHL players. Now, he turned pro only after Montreal promised to let him go to McGill Law School during the off seasons. Now, again, he planned to play 3 years for Canada through the 72 Olympics while attending law school, but of course, we never skated. But that's a law school medal for Canada that in 1972. So Ken Dryden, the early years, it was a bizarre series of events that got him to the NHL. Because why would Boston trade him? I still don't know. I don't even conceive why he thought Ken Dryden should have been traded. Maybe he would just basically didn't know how good he was going to be with Cornell. I know he'd have been kicking himself ever soon. And it wasn't like a known fact that Boston was going to go and say, oh, we traded Dryden. That would drove to Quebec and Boston media through the roof. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kenny, we're going to miss you. 78 is not a life. You had a lot more to do, but like I said, you're resting right now, and you're getting the pads on to play with Bellevaux and Joliette and Howie and everybody else, the two Richards. Can you imagine that line in heaven, okay? Toe Blake, the two Richards, Butch Bouchard, you got Jacques Plante as either number one or backup, and you got, Dougie Harvey. My God, heaven is full of Montreal Canadiens icons, ladies and gentlemen, and Kenny was one of our greatest icons, the leader of Canada's team. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing with our Kenny Dryden Tribute Podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.